Any questions on 1 through 6? Going once? Going twice? Going thrice? Okay, nobody bothered to ask. That means that if I give you a quiz on this tomorrow with those 6 questions, every single one of you will get 100% on it. That is what that means to me. I'm going to give you a 4th chance. Does anybody need any of that explained? Oh, all of a sudden hands go up. Which one, Sarah? 6, certainly. Anybody else? 6 and 2. Great. On 2, you would notice that 9 and 27 have a common factor. The GCF is 9. So I divide out a 9. The GCF goes here. 9 divided by 9 is 1. The D's never changed. 27 divided by 9 is 3. I can't do anything more with that because D and 3 are not common. 6. If you look closely at 5, you will see that the middle term is the X term, right? And when you look closely at 6, you will see that the X term has moved out to the end. So, once again, don't follow steps. You don't automatically take that. You had to be aware that it needed to be in this form. Then I need to multiply to 20 and add to negative 9. And then, of course, you have the right answers. Why is it in the homework? Because in the homework, it doesn't hurt you in any way. And now you would write down the right answer, and now you would know how to do it for the next time. You have to leave it that way. That's what I just did. Yeah. There is 7 through 12. I don't think I can fit any more on there. No. And I think that was all of 131. It only went up to 12, didn't it? Yeah. There are the answers. Does anybody need any of them explained?
On 9, there is a minus of 14.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
How do you do 20?
10? Okay. If I were to flick back to lesson 4.3 in giant purple letters, what did I write? I'll refresh your memory. What did I write in giant letters? Always try this, which was greatest common factor, yes? So when I look here, what do you notice about 2, 28, and 26? 2 is the GCF. So I would divide everything by 2, and I would get 2x squared plus 14x plus 13. Now, Riley, you'll want to pay attention right here because this is what you were just asking me to go over a couple of them. So what we're doing right here is the factoring that we just learned. It's in the right order. It's got a squared, an x, and a constant. So I know I need to multiply to the constant, which is 13, and add to 14. What are the numbers of 13 that will do that? Will 1 and 13 make 14? Yes. So it is 2x plus 1, x plus 13. Okay? Holy shish kebab is right. If only we hadn't done a whole page of that right before this. Now what? What do you mean by flipping back and forth?
Because the day before you did this, and then you did the test and the stuff before that.
Yep.
Yesterday. And I thought, well, that's this was fresh in my mind, and then failed that, and then now I can remember this.
Okay.
And now that you can explain one question,
Okay.
I had one question.
But you have a whole book of questions on exponents. I'm sorry, I can't hear you because the Carloses are talking. Okay, I will never mind. Everybody good with the rest of this? Okay. Next page for you guys would have been 132. There is 1 through 6. Okay. Okay, that's what I said. All right. What do you see there? 1 x squared and another x squared. So how many x squareds are there? 2 x squareds. What do you see there? Negative 12x. And what do you see there? Positive 8. What do you notice about 2, 12, and 8? They can all divide by 2. So a 2 goes out here, and I get x squared minus 6x plus 4, yes? Now, when I see that, I should be checking if there are any numbers that multiply to 4 and add to negative 6. Are there? Really? 1 and 4 and 2 and 2. How do either one of them get me to 6? Do either of those pairs get me to 6? No. So there is no more factoring that we can do. So it's done. Yes. If you can't factor it, you can't factor it. Well, again, you will notice that 4 shares a common factor. 3, 15, 18, and K, and K, and K. What is the biggest number that can come out of there? 3. How many K's can come out of there? 1. So 3K goes to the front. What's 3K squared divided by 3K? K. What's 15 divided by 3?
5K.
Plus 5K. What is 18 divided by 3? Minus 6. K, 1K, and 5K is how many Ks? 1K and 5K is how many Ks? 6 Ks. So I got 3K and then 6K minus 6, yes? What do you notice about 6 and 6? They are the same number, so they share a factor, don't they? Which is 6. So it comes out here. What's already out there? 3K. Then I bring out another 6. When I bring something out, it becomes another coefficient. What do coefficients do? Multiply. What's 3K times 6? 18Ks. And what's inside? What's 6K divided by 6? K. What's 6 divided by 6? 1. Done. I thought your hand was going up, but you were, because from here I could only see. There is 6 through 10. I am expecting you to ask about 8, 9, and 10.
For 7.
Oh, you could ask about 7. 7's a bit tricky as well.
Could you just do x squared minus 16?
Yes, of course you could, but then x squared minus 16 you have to factor again, because it's a squared minus a squared.
So you can actually leave it like that?
This is the answer. If you left it as x squared plus 16 and x squared minus 16, you've done half the work. So you would get half the marks, because that is factorable, because it's a squared minus a squared. And because just that day we had just done squared minus a squared somewhere. Okay, now I'm expecting someone to ask me about 8. Thank you. What do you notice about what's highlighted in blue and blue? They're the same thing. So what if I did this? A equals x minus 2. What can I write there instead of x minus 2? XA. Everyone agree? It'll show up in a second. Plus, what can I write there? 3a. Now, is a common to both of them? So I would bring an a out, correct? And I would have a. What's xa divided by a? X. What's 3a divided by a? 3. There's that. Now what's a? X minus 2. I'm the one that said it was x minus 2. So this a can't be there. It's x minus 2. And I'm done. Wild, hey? I know. So what's happening in number 9? You got it for me, Riley? Thank you. Can the same thing happen here? Because a minus b and a minus b are the same thing, right? Now, if I use the letter a here, it might get confusing, right? Can I make it any letter? Sure. What if I were to say in this one, x equals a minus b? Is everybody okay with that? Am I allowed to do that? Because I know what I just did, right? I said, because it's my paper, that a minus b, when it ever shows up, equals x. Right? So now this says a minus b, but I have decided that a minus b is an x. So this is really 2a times x, yes? Right? And what's this one? Plus b times x, yes? Now what is common to both of those? X. So I'm going to divide by x. And I put the x out front. And what's 2a plus b, correct? But x, there's no x's in here. What's x really? A minus b. So I rewrite that as a minus b. Is everybody cool with that? Okay, now 10 is actually really tricky. So let's have a look at it. What do you notice kind of about those two?
They have the same numbers, but not the same.
Same numbers, but different signs, yeah? Okay. What would happen if I took 3 minus 2x and I divided it by -1? Is 1 a common factor to everything? So can I take that out? So I would end up with -3 plus 2x, wouldn't I? But I'd have to have that -1 out in front, yeah? Well, what was already out in front? -5. What do I do with those two numbers? Multiply them. So what would this become? +5. So what I end up with is x, 2x minus 3, plus 5, and then look, +2x, +2x. negative 3, negative 3. And now, are they the same? So what can I do with them? I can make them another letter, can't I? So if I make this A, and I make that A, then I got an A out front. And what's inside? X plus 5, right? Just like we did the three times before, yeah? But A is not A. What's A? 2x minus 3, x plus 5. Is everybody okay? Okay. Where? Oh. Are we all good? Excellent. And then this was just multiplying. You just did a quiz on it that I still have to mark. Everybody okay? All righty. If you would all be so kind as to flip to page 133. Oh, wait. We already did 133. No, we didn't. We haven't done 133. Haven't we?
No, that was the other one.
Okay. That means those questions, yeah, okay, it's cool. Never mind. No, it's my fault. Never mind. Okay. We are recording, but I forgot to plug in the microphone.
That's hilarious.
Well, the computer has a microphone. It's just crappy. Now I got the good one going, and hopefully it'll be better now. Okay. If I showed you this whole thing, what do you know about that right now? What math is happening there? Multiply. What do the brackets do to those two pieces of math? It groups them together. So this side is x plus 4, yes? So that is a factor, isn't it? Because factors are anything that multiplies together, right? So that is factor 1. Everyone agree? And that is factor 2. Everyone agree? All right. So since I have two things multiplying together here, it must be time to do some polynomial expansion, right? So I would do x times x and get x squared, yes? And then what would be my next number? X times negative 4 to get what? Negative 4x. Then I would move to a new term and a new line. What's this one? Positive 4x. And what's this one? Negative 16. And what do you notice at the end of it all? X squared. What happens here? It goes away because that's 0. Minus 16. Right? Now I want you to look, talk with your neighbor if you can, and see if you can figure out some relationship between what I've highlighted in blue and what I've highlighted in green. Go.
everything.
Actually, no.
It really has to do with
No, it's multiple.
yeah, but it. Look for it. Other way around.
On Friday, I have to swear like.
Okay. Would anybody like to share what they and their seat mate, if they spoke about it? Would anybody like to share what they noticed? We'll start with, well, I don't really care what we start with, the blue or the green. Josh.
X times x squared is 4 times -4 is negative.
Hey, if I take the square root of that, I get x and x.
Yeah.
If I take the square root of that, I get 4 and 4. And if I give them different signs, the middle is going to drop out, yes? Right? So if it happens once in math, how often does it happen? Always. So if I have some number squared, and I'm subtracting, I should use x, sorry. Come on, erase. Erase. I said erase. Erase. X squared minus y squared. And I want to factor that. Then what do? Well, according to this, I take the square root of the first number. What's the square root of x squared? X. Then I add the square root of the second number. What's the square root of y? And then I write the same thing, but with what in the middle? A negative. And then if I expanded that, I would indeed get x squared minus xy plus xy. They would fall out. And y times y is minus y squared. Everybody cool?
Yeah.
All right. Let's look at this very first question. Does that have a square root? Of course it does. What is it? No. It's a power of 16. X to the fourth. So that is x to the fourth. Does that have a square root? Sorry, it's not x to the fourth. It's x to the eighth. Why? If I were to take the square root of x to the 16th, I'm looking for groups of 2, yes? How many groups of 2 can I get out of 16? 8 of them. Okay. What is the square root of 1? 1. And then I write this with what sign? Am I done? Am I done? Really? Look at that and look at that. Does that have a square root? What is it? X to the fourth, correct? So x to the 8 plus 1, we're stuck. But this is x to the fourth plus, what's the square root of 1? 1. And then what do I write? Minus 1. Am I done? Why not? Because I can do this again, can't I? X to the 8th plus 1, x to the 4th plus 1, x to the 2 plus 1, and then what do I write? It's to the 2 minus 1. Am I done?
No.
No!
Yeah, I love this.
Square root of x squared. Square root of x squared, guys. X. Square root of 1? 1. And then what do I write? Same thing with a minus. Am I done?
I think so.
Yes.
I hope so.
Now, to do that, you needed to remember something from radicals, didn't you? That you were looking for groups of 2. So we can get out 8 of them, right? All right. Let's look at number 2. Does number 2 look like this?
No.
Is that a square? If there was no y there, would we be okay? If there was no x there, would we be okay? But there's both there. So are we still okay? What's the square root of x squared y squared? xy. What's the square root of 225? 15. So I write the square root of the first one, xy, plus the square root of the second one, which is what? And then what do I do? The same, but with the minus sign. Any problem? It's pretty easy, isn't it? How does number 3 differ from number 2? It's a little like number 1, isn't it? So can I take the square root of z to the 8? What is it? Yes, you do. I need to get out groups of 2, yes? How many groups of 2 can I get out of 8? 4. Can I get the square root of 144?
Yes.
What is it? 12. Then what do I write?
Same thing.
Same thing, but with a minus. Am I done?
No.
Look closer. Does that have a square root?
Oh, it's 12. Okay.
Does 12?
Alright. Yeah.
Does 12 have a square root? So am I done? Excellent.
Okay.
Look at number 4. What's different about number 4? It's got a number and a letter. If there was no 4 there, would we be good? It would be what? X to the 3. If there was no x there, would we be good? What would it be? 2. So what must the answer be? 2x3. 2x cubed. Plus, what about this one? 5y. And then what do I write? The exact same thing, but a minus. And we good. Now I need you to stop for a moment and look at these 4 questions. And notice there's a bunch of blank space below that. I am not going to go on until everybody will look me in the eye and say, I got you. Square, square, plus, minus. Can everybody do it?
I got you.
Okay, so let me ask you this. We're going to start easy. What would you do with this type of problem? This is going to be number 5. X cubed minus 9x.
Yeah. Good idea.
Always try this.
What are you going to do with x cubed minus 9x? You're going to try what? Starts with a G, ends with an R, has greatest common facto in the middle of it.
What did it just be graded? You said graded.
What will I take out of there?
It's not lawyer's fault.
X.
It's the truth. We'll smack you.
You know I have everything recorded, right? I know what I said, and so does this. If this is my GCF, it goes outside, and what goes in the middle?
X squared minus 9. Oh.
Now, what would you do with that?
This thing is like a 4.
What's the square root of x squared? Plus 3. Can everybody do number 5? Everybody. Okay, now I'm going to add one more layer to this. All right? Everybody ready? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Now what are you going to do? You're going to divide it. Oh, damn it. That shouldn't have been cubed. Sorry, guys. That should have been to the 5th, and that should have been cubed. There we go. Yes. Now, I'm going to divide by 10x cubed. And what's going to go to the front? 10x cubed. And what's going to stay here? X squared. And what's going to go here? Negative 8. Could I go any further? I did it this way on purpose. Can I go any further? Why not, Sam?
Because 8 doesn't have a square root.
8 doesn't have a square root. Wait. Wait. What if this was 90x cubed? Then what would this be? Then it would be 10x cubed You know, when you're bothering your peers, who usually find crap like that funny, how far down the bothering scale do you think you've pushed me? So what would be a wise course of action right now when your peers are telling you they are tired of it? Right. Because you have noticed, hopefully, that I have stayed very calm through all of it, hoping that you will read the room and hear that your peers are asking you to stop. You cannot read the room, so now I have to act like this. Do you feel good right now? Do you think I feel good right now? So why would you put us in this position? Is not an answer. Are you clear now? I would suggest you give good ears to someone who has been through my room before and who knows what the limits are. Okay? This would be x squared minus 9. And then what would we do? X cubed, x plus 3, x minus 3. Is everybody good there? Mason. Because 8 has no square root. It only works if 8 has if this number has a square root. Like 4, 9, 16, 25. You cool? Okay. Now, one last one. That was kind of 6a, so this will be 7. This one's going to be really tricky. X plus 7 squared minus 64. Brianna? You could square that, square root it, you mean, I think, right? you would actually expand it out. You could, but that will put you in a position to factor a really big, ugly number. Okay, you could do that. Okay, but it makes for more work. There is a way to do this very easily. Nick? No. I'll give you a hint. It looks a lot like that. What did we do there? What can I do with that? There you go. What is happening here is you can do two things. One, you can recognize what Riley just recognized. Wait a minute. The square root, when it was just a single letter, was just the letter. So the square root of that must just be that. Or you can do that trick I just taught you and say that is a, which makes a squared minus 64, doesn't it? Then it would be a plus 8, a minus 8, right? Right? We'll have to come back to it. No homework tonight. That's too bad. We were on such a roll.